Something's happening. Alright, cool. Alright. Let's do a new game. This one I feel like we'll have to read for, but I like the design on that ship. Alright, so choose one background. Howdy. Before we begin the story of Bitter Silver, select a background for the main character, Lucia Lopez. Backgrounds affect types of choices Lucia can make at certain points, her relationships with their two crewmates, Zap and Hobbs, and certain character and story directions. Alright. So we got whatever happens, happens. The motto of a certain reckless space cowboy, taken to heart by down on their luck bounty hunters everywhere, including Lucia. Ship Talker. The pulsating engine of Lucia's ship, the Athena, feels as close to her as her own heart and lungs. Nebula Nerd. Lack of opposable thumbs can't stop Lucia's robotic tabby cat companion Hobbs and her from bonding over love of silly space operas. Intergalactic Intuition. Born and raised a card shark, never tell Lucia the odds because the chances are she already knows them. Or Dirty Dancing. It takes two to perfect the art of a great tango, or in this case, Lucia and her partner in crime, and love, Zap Matters. So we got Shooty, Zoomy, Smutty, Sexy, or Causality. I'm going to go with the ship one, just because that kind of plays into the whole Thunder thing. From a young age, Lucia developed an interest in taking apart and putting back together mechanical parts of ships, and from FTL drives to exhaust ports. Now as a bounty hunter, she is greatly in tune with the Athena, occasionally sharing her thoughts and feelings with the Athena, and sometimes hearing her answer. Alright. Interesting choice, and with that, let's jam. Illuminated by only dim fluorescent lights, four figures walk up the landing of the spaceship Athena to its main hallway. A bearded human man with a long disheveled hair and clad in purple suit is the first to proceed. Today was a better day for everyone who wasn't him. He glances his head around, sadly observing the rundown hallway of the ship. You got something you want to say, Jakey boy? The handcuffed man stumbles forward with a hearty shove from one of the captors. The middle of the entrance ramp clangs under their boots as they walk in behind him. You can click on underlined terms to access the official United Coalition of Democratic Systems Bounty Hunters Handbook. This handbook will help you learn more about the characters, species, and world of Bitter Silver. We are a tall, muscular, half-human, half-gressimer with pupilless eyes that glow ice blue, rivaled only by their frost-white hair. What's a gressimer? Oh, here's some helpful terms. Okay, there's already a glossary. Bounty Hunter, officially licensed UCDS. I'm just going to do the skim version. You know what a Bounty Hunter is. Bounties at price on someone's head, no krantz. Official form of currency across the Milky Way galaxy. Alright. Office of Bounty Hunting Affairs. Okay, so we have to report to an office located on Mars. Okay. Some other offices and other systems. That's cool. Alright, we got humans. Gressimers. Alright. From the planet Lendra. Bipedal creature with dark red skin pigments, crafted manes of fur, 2 arms, legs, feet, eyes, and ears. And can live for thousands of years. Okay. Normally hierarchical. Trellians. Green. Exoskeleton. Nomadic. Okay, and Durette. Aquatic species, purple skin. Technology, progressive, and water recycling suits. So, vaguely like the Breen from Star Trek, but water instead of cold. Just digging in this new reality. There was a smart play back there. Was it your idea, Zap? Hers? I know it wasn't your cat's. No better executed than the typical bounty hunter scum, you know? Well, this trio of bounty hunter scum ain't a bunch of bumbling space cops. Yeah, fuck the police. But I know you love being handcuffed. We try to give even our scummiest of captives a microcosm of dignity and defeat. Believe us when I say you need all the dignity you can get right now. Good zoom out. Zap glances down to look at the man's decorative, gaudy underwear. Gaudy. Why did I say gaudy? Adorned with small pictures of plasma bolt guns, nestled inside blood-red hearts. They tilt their head back up with a mild amusement. Well, don't get too distracted from what you see down there. I know it's probably got you feeling all nostalgic. Zap smiles as a little orange boot comes down on some of Jake's sock-covered toes, the man yelping in pain. Not really nostalgic for a walking STD flare-up, thanks. Despite the smile on their face, their eyes flash with dangerous, threatening energy. Don't make me regret not killing you. Seems we might, Zap. From what I can ascertain, Jake is trying to escape from his restraints. Oh, looks like you're right, Hobbs. I was too distracted by his gaudy-ass panties. The watchful feline figure of Hobbs walks alongside Zap and Jake with a confident stride. Look at his little chesty. He stands knee-high, boots squishing against the floor. Of course he's got boots. Of course they put the puss in boots. Scanning the prisoner with a pair of glowing cybernetic eyes. I would highly advise against it if I were you. Maybe they made it just to make that pun. I'm not sketch pushing boots. These things are pretty high-tech, aren't they? Better hope I don't break out of, Or so it struggles against them, then why they will tighten until a painful shock is administered. Jake winces, stopping in his tracks, before Zap pushes him forward some more. What's the matter? Are you crying? That's definitely something I'm nostalgic for. No. You most definitely are. No, I'm not. According to my sensors. Don't even need sensors to know he's got Zap good. I'm going to ignore your dire attempt at a pun to save my sensors. Say my sensors did in fact show he's holding back tears. The displeased man carries forward, venom in his gaze. He studies Hobbs' frame, looking at the walking, talking cat up and down. Somebody's gone quiet all of a sudden. Cat got your tongue, Jake? Jake stops, turning back to observe Zap the same way as he did Hobbs. Don't even think about it. Well, you wish. He hurls a glob of spit out the side of his mouth towards Hobbs. The cat jumps out of the way of the pathetic projectile, the saliva landing at his feet. Nimble little kitty, aren't you? Passed my test. Better than I can say for Zap, if I recall. Test? Zap shoves Jake forward once more, shaking their head back and forth. I know what you're doing, shithead. I'm not going there. You let me through. If you let me go, though, I can get you another name. Better bounty. Worth twice as much, too. That remains to be seen. Oops. I didn't goof up that voice quite enough. Alright. You think we caught you just for the money? I'm gonna bound as if you had 3 actually caught. I can tell I'm not your first this time, Zap. Oh, you're really asking for it now. Zap rears back to strike him. Zap, Hobbs, esperate, por favor. Sure thing, Lou. Zap jerks the prisoner to a halt as he opens his eyes back up, the 3 turning to see their leader approaching. Walking into view of the trio, Lucia Lopez approaches the prisoner. And this is what changed. I guess that indicates it changed based on your choices at the top. She feels a low, pulsating thrum vibrate beneath her boots. An unpleasant energy radiating from the Athena sends a shiver up Lucia's spine. Lucia looks towards the ceiling as she addresses her ship with a whisper. Alright, Athena. You won't be here long. She runs her fingers up and down the worn-out metal, trying to calm her. The hell are you doing? Lucia drops her head to face Jake. None of your concern. Okay. I like that they clearly indicated that it is a choice. She looks him in the eyes, deciding what to say. Throughout the story, Lucia will make choices that define her personality as a bounty hunter. Some choices will branch the story in different directions. You press escape to manually save and load, or press Q. Save your game at any time. Alright, so we can keep our cool, mess with them. Ask your crew to do. Oh, we're gonna mess with them. Lucia throws a punch towards Jake's face as he flinches. Another quick jab towards the stomach as he flinches again. She taps him in the face a few times in triumph. Your reflexes are still on point, Jake. And I haven't even asked you any of the questions I have yet. They'd be better without all these restraints, Lou. Don't call me that. Only my friends can call me that. Okay, then make a real fight this time, Lucia. Or you worried you won't get anything while me breathing? Well, the bounty notice did say dead or alive. Well, it is correct. There was a slight increase in no credits, however, we brought you in alive. That would be the money we saw, as we read earlier. Emphasis is a lowered slight. You don't have what it takes anymore. I get it. Look, I'm not falling for your shit, Jake. You think we wouldn't find you if we didn't have what it takes or whatever? You were the one to throw away a cushy corpo gig. You're starting a gangman to prove you still got it? Thinking you read me like a goddamn book that you're better than me? I do believe she is. Agreed. Lucky I'm restrained. If anything looks like a schlep regardless of what, like, him trying to put on attitude just kind of adds to it, honestly. More like lucky I was the one who did it. You missed that kinky shit, didn't you? Not as much as you missed my coat. Lucy and Eros was a slow clap, her face adorned with a wide, shit-eating grin. You're lucky I'm restrained. Rehearse that line on the walk back? Jake tries to do a bow, but Zap hoists him back up. Just for you. It almost sounded like a real threat. Not that almost about it. She steps between him and Zap, leading in close towards his face. Lucky you're worth more alive than dead. Continuing threats aside, I still have more leverage than all of you combined. Smugness grows on Jake's gruff mug, causing an irritated heat to rise to her ears. He sure had some nerve talking shit to his captives. That she had to give him credit for. But intelligence? Not his strong suit. Ah, good one, Jakey. You're quite the delusional fellow. Well, if you let me go, my boss won't obliterate your star-grazing asses into the nearest sun. Also, I won't fuck you up once I'm out of these restraints. Simple. Lucy and Zap share a look. Hobbs doesn't even try to hide his bemusement, letting out a small chuckle. Well, that's a hell of an offer coming from a poor liar like you. And I mean that in every sense of the word. Horror's not in my vocabulary. So the shithole saloon we found you in was what exactly? An elaborate disguise? An investment I'll continue overhauling once I escape. Not like you'd understand. An investment in what? Liver cirrhosis? Fuck you. Watch your mouth, Jake. And they're right. You got all this money now, why didn't we catch you at a fancier joint? There's some fancy pants to boot. Fancy any leg would do. Jake's dart between the trio, lips pursing as he waits to respond. 1. I wish I had a pair of tight pants to distract you, Zap. I know you're kryptonite. Sure you do, flabby ass. Let us focus, please. Lucia sizes up Jake as she decides what to say next. Alright. I'll get on his case. Oh, on both of them, okay. Yeah, come on, rein it in. I'm sure you have a lot to say to each other, but now's not the time. She looks at Zap. We've got bigger issues to deal with. Zap presses their lips together, but she can tell it's the last thing they want to do. Whatever, I go wherever I want because I can. Undoubtedly. And from the looks of your ship, I can say I've been making a lot more goddamn money than you and Zap have. If you're what it looks like to have a lot of goddamn money, then I'm good, thanks. Well, we can traverse a myriad of topics with this lovely gentleman all cycle. But how about I do a scan to figure out how his actual care death works? My voice for the cat's going all over the place, I'm sorry. We will see if his wealth is... Let me recenter here. You'll see if his wealth is as great as he holds it over our heads. Don't know what you expect to find except the truth. Precisely. Then go ahead then, Felix. Where's the fun in just a scan, though? Let me give him that bit of truth juice I got left, Lou. We'll get 20 seconds worth of answers, and we won't have to deal with him spewing any more bullshit for a bit. Truth juice? Relax, it's completely harmless and time-sensitive. Just a way for us to make particularly stubborn folks more talkative. We use it completely ethically. Publicly available info we simply need confirmation on. Otherwise, we'd be compromising our bounty hunting principles. Wouldn't want that now, would you? So what'll it be, Lou? Is your call, Captain. Captain Leader, at certain points, Lucia must decide how to command her bounty hunting crew and branch the story in different directions. Yeah, we get the branching thing. Let's do the scan. I feel like maybe that'll let us save the truth juice for later. For something that was someone a little more important. I mean, I don't know if that'll even come up in the demo, but I also just realized I have been covering up this guy's face the entire time, even though I commented on his appearance. Hold on a second here. I'll slide myself down. I wasn't sure how wide the text boxes were going to be. Sorry. Alright. That should be cool. I didn't expect them to have 4 characters on the screen at the same time either. Alright. And he did have a couple extra expressions after I said he only had 1, but anyway. Hobbs, do your thing. I'm going to be delighted to see how much he's not worth. My pleasure. Hobbs' eyes glow with a cool translucent blue hue as he looks Jake up and down. What the fuck? Well, he's got nothing valuable on him, and his net worth used to be 4.5 million no-crowns. Of course, since he fled to Trask with his cronies, all his assets have been frozen. Now his total net worth is 25,568 no-crowns. So he's dumb and worthless? Precisely. Amazing. What do you mean worthless? It's impossible. My assets, tough shit. But here's some news to cheer you up. You got a cell with your name on it. We should beckon Jake to continue down the hall as Zap shoves him to keep moving. Hobbs throws Lucia a quick wink as the two bring up the rear. That sounded like trailers for King of the Road. Alright, the three continue down the hallway of the Athena, Jake dodging wires hanging down from the ceiling and tripping over panels barely holding the floor together. The group finally stops outside what looks like a grimy, worn-down bathroom with a bench rigged to a sidewall. That's what I think it is? Lucia shoots the puzzled man a glance, sizing up how to describe the Athena's lone place for storing captured bounties. I mean, if we got the extra option from the thing we chose, I'd like to use it. Lucia puts her hand up against the wall outside the brig. How would you describe our brig for Jake, Fina? She feels a gurgling, rumbling sensation coursing through the ship's water recyclers. A small geyser bursts out from within the toilet, splashing on the floor. Basically, I'd be careful trying to mess with anything in there if I were you. Unless you really like bidets. Ain't nothing wrong with a bidet. It's some of the greatest shit out there. This is you're shitting me, right? All 3 of us dutifully cleaned the brig before your arrival. Why didn't you just watch and told us every time we were missing a spot? That still counts as helping. Alright. Enough. Thanks, you two. Lucia walks over to Jake's left side, a gloved hand on his shoulder, the other pointing to the inside of the claustrophobic, barely clean prison. Now, Jake, we've heard your concerns. But frankly, we're all very tired. Zap, the gag, please. Zap pulls out a piece of taut black cloth, the smell of a mixture of dried saliva, sweat, and phlegm. Getting tired of me already? Let's do this or knock his ass out, so... Not necessarily. If you'd rather not have this shoved in your mouth for the whole trip. Let me ask you my first real question, Jake. Out of her own pocket, Lucia produces a small metallic box. Inside lie 14 small pins, all in the shape of the Milky Way galaxy, each with various sets of initials. Remember these? Jake cranes his neck down a bit to get a better look at them. His eyes quickly go wide as seeing one with the letters JT. Lucia notices his tongue rolling around the inside of his mouth. I'll take that as a yes. How long did it take to find all these? Too long. Harder than they both known me. Jake lets out a wolf whistle. If I wasn't tied up, I'd bow down at your feet. Zap gets up at Jake's face, their nose inches from his. They shove him back a bit. You'd like that, wouldn't you, pervert? I would much rather you do not relitigate any past sexual proclivities right now, thank you. Lucia works her way back in between Zap and Jake, separating the two. I'm gonna have to agree with Hobbs on this one. Fair enough. I don't have much of a say one way or another. You're remembering. Can the pins help you plumb the depths of the rest of your memory, perhaps? Well, I do remember our dear commander said we'd always be bonded by these little pieces of shit. Spec Ops till Stardust or whatever. So he's ex-Mill. Jake gives his wrist restraints a quick glance behind the back. Then they can be literal. Yeah, well, it's not like I was dying to see you again. Zap lets out a derisive snort, one of their hands trying to cover it. Sorry, inside joke. Oh my word. Mom missed those. We had some good ones, didn't we? You reminisce with all our former co-workers like this? Before you killed them all, of course. Let's go collect it. I've been going rogue a lot. Look, cold-blooded takedowns are a thing of the past. She gestures to Zab and Hobbs with tilted down, open palms. Not our style. It's more fun coming up with captures than kills, honestly. Well, I think you to play it is quite rewarding, I must concur. See, we're not so bloodthirsty. You really changed, didn't you? Not 100%, though. Now take a look at this. Oh, that's cool. Lucia pulls out Jake's pin. The letter JT is adorned across the rotating metallic spiral. She holds it up in front and center of Jake's nervous face. See the little stars in the corner? I assume answering yes is going to help me get out of here quicker. Maybe. Depends. That's not a yes. Maybe kicking the dick like old times would help? Or perhaps a... Fine. I have no leverage. I know. Let me take a look. Jake's eyes hone in on a little piece of circular metal. 3 tiny stars shimmer along the edge of the galactic spiral clustered together. Yeah, I see the stars. What about them? That's where we're supposed to be headed next. Except there's no fucking way. My scans show that every single pin keeps track of the coordinates of every other current owner. Which, you know, since we were in a squad of 15, that mean there would be one more pin. Interesting. So why would there be 3 sets of coordinates left, Jake? As I was saying, interesting. Lucia puts the pin away, Jake's eyes finally drawn away from the hypnotic object. Jake takes a breath, shaking his head with his eyes closed. What? That's quite a conundrum. How about you let me go and I'll keep jogging? Lucia stuffs the gag in his mouth, tying it tight around his head. She turns him forward, shoving him into the brig. Soundproof electric force field hums and crackles to life, separating Jake from the trio. If it's soundproof, why do they need the gag? Finally, I was getting so tired of his shit. And that we are both in agreement. It's fine, he wants to play dumb. We'll reconvene before we get to Mars. Speaking of which, I'm changing these clothes before I plot the course. Drinks are on me. Oh, why not flirt? Lucia slides up beside Zap, slipping a hand around their waist and laying a finger in one of their belt loops. Well, if you need any help with that, I'd be more than happy to come with you. Zap smirks, moving closer and placing a hand on the wall behind her head, their face inches from hers, voice lowering. Oh, you want to get in a little trouble, huh? A terse clear of the throat comes from Hobbs, whose tail is slightly frayed, twitching from side to side, ears turned back. It was a look Lucia had come to know as annoyance, and a common one he gave when she and Zap got touchy. It would say that trouble is the opposite of what we would like to get into. Besides, now's the time we typically get together and debrief, is it not? What a buzzkill. Zap lingers near Lucia for a second before reaching back, taking her hand from their belt loop and holding it in their own. They give it a quick squeeze before letting go, like a promise. As much as I'd love to take you up on that, Hobbs is right. It's debrief time. But since we did such a bag-up job, let's make it a bit more fun. Drinks are on me. What drinks? You didn't purchase anything while we were at that saloon, did you? Just a second. Firefox decided to be weird for a second there. Alright. Please do not tell me with a fresh glass of pilk. Alright, just meet me on the bridge if you want to find out. Zap throws a knowing smirk at their teammates' way as they depart, heading down the hallway. I truly wish I knew what goes on in that head of theirs sometimes. Think I know more than I think it's supposed to be than you do? Fair point. Let us depart for the bridge then. Yeah, I'll hang back for a little bit, but I'll meet you both up there, alright? Hobbs trudges down the hall after Zap, after Lucia looks back at the angry form of Jake. The disheveled man stares back at her with wide, confused eyes, the gag firmly in his mouth. Ooh! With a deep blink, his face transforms to one of a much younger, cleaner, and more innocent. Jake's voice echoes inside her head. Lou. His voice calls out from the ether with a delicate, almost touching verve. What's he on about? Lou, are you? For a moment, Lucia sees the face of a younger Jake. The green-blue sky sits behind him as the sound of plasma fire and artillery rages in the background. It's like, God, I thought you were a goner. Now come on, let's get you up. As the past version of Jake reaches out with their hand towards her, she manages to break her gaze free from him and goes to join her companions. So, we've got even more history than we thought. Sorry. Bringing chat back up. Unlike the break, no one's had time to clean here lately, and it shows. Clumps of shedded hair, human, alien, and otherwise mixed together in secluded corners. Dirty glasses with residue from any past drinks scattered at the tops of the control panels, several hovering. Empty bowls and silverware littered over the room. All are remnants of the past few months of flying across the galaxy, one stressful bounty hunting mission after another. Mostly for a bunch of minuscule metallic pins. Having cleared Trask's atmosphere and set an autopilot course to Mars, a cheerful, refreshing Zap hands Lucia a glass of her favorite brand of cranberry juice. Seated on a nearby chair, Hobbs sips away at a glass of pilk, the pink drink nestled inside a small cup between his two paws. Lucia takes the glass and gives it a small sip, tasting a hint of vodka. Enjoy, you've earned it. Ask how much booze is in this. How much vodka is in this? What? This badass bounty hunter can't handle their booze all of a sudden? Zap elbows Lucia in the ribs, trying not to spill either of their drinks. Hey, I didn't say that. If anything, there might not be enough for what I'm about to do. I could top you off with some more then. Round 2, maybe. Just wondering how much I need to forget today. And prepare for later. You absolutely kicked ass back there and you're gonna nail Jake to the wall. Isn't that right, Hobbs? Our incredibly supportive and attentive feline friend, I'm sure, agrees with me. The blissful Calico takes a long sip of his drink. That's not a Calico. That's a tabby. Also, moving the camera again. I guess upper right corner would be the way to go. I'm gonna block the top of people's heads. If I do that. You saw his ears before, it's fine. What? I see what you were doing, dear Zap. But yes, of course. We never would have caught that rapscallion without you taking out as many of his posse as you did. The look on his face when you busted in on him about to bust himself. Hobbs gags a bit on his drink. I'll be laughing about that for the rest of my life, Lou. I was in the middle of... Oh, never mind. Lucia takes a sip of her own drink, rolling her eyes. Well, that's a long time, don't you think, Zap? Yeah, I'll just need to remember something to keep me going for the next 200. Why not this? Fair point. Hey, you know what? Fuck it. A toast. Lucia raises her glass in the air. Zap and Hobbs both staring at her in their usual mildly bewildered sense of amusement. Noticing her companion's looks, Lucia spins around to give them both back a sincere look of happiness as Zap begins to toast. To nabbing another poor SOB. And to getting enough cash to repair the Athena. So we make long-distance FTL trips again and find this last pin. Here's hoping, but I have my doubts considering our luck lately. Well, just because you've given up on our luck doesn't mean I have. Or Hobbs. Zap walks over to Hobbs and wraps an arm around their suddenly worried feline friend. Oh no, what are you doing? If this is to make me feel sorry for you not getting to break out your truth juice, it will not work. First, I don't care about that. It was cool watching you ring that fool out with your robot eyes. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, I guess. Second, can't a bunch of freaks just be friendly around each other in times of celebration? The gulf between our expectations of what constitutes friendliness is as vast as the Milky Way itself. Whatever. Just think of something to toast for today, sourpuss. Alright. Give me a moment. Liquids takes time. Zap rolls their eyes, trying not to make a snide comment. Hobbs raises their own glass with both their paws, their glass almost empty already. To a successful mission, and to a future on this ship without worrying about its destruction. Because our pilot loves to take it to its limits, and that our captain lets that happen more often than perhaps she should. Hey. Great. Good toast, Hobbs. Zap gives him a firm pat on the back, the remainder of his pig milk spilling onto the floor. Whoops, sorry, you're probably listening to their insurance sometimes, huh? You did that on purpose. I'll get you another one, don't worry. Zap hurries to grab a small bottle of pilk stashed nearby, pouring some into Hobbs' glass before he can get any angrier. That was not a no. Did you really pilfer that bottle from the saloon? Pilfered, stolen, borrowed, same difference. There's nothing on there that could trace us, right? Of course not, it's pilk, not priceless 5,000 cycle old Trellian liquor. Zap hands the mostly full glass back over the cat's furrowed brow and scrunched up face, trying to convey disapproval. You never not look adorable when you're angry at me, you know that? Hobbs lets loose a few indecipherable grunts as both paws take hold of the glass. Anyway, you're up, Lou. What are you toasting to? Lucia gives her companions a glance, trying to find the right words. After a moment, she figures out the perfect ones. Toast to a fun fight. Here's to another day of kicking ass and nabbing fools all across the galaxy. Hear, hear. I'll drink to that. At the same moment, there's a rumble from the ship. A glass falls from the table, rolling to land upright at the crew's feet. Shit, at least that didn't break. Someone must have forgotten to reactivate his gravitational repulsor, which is why we keep losing glasses in the first place. Hobbs shifts his glass sideways to Zap as he sips on his pilk. They return the feline's look with a dark glare. Nah, Fina just wanted to be included, didn't you? Lucia smiles over the bridge's ceiling. To anyone else, it may look like a mess of wires and pipes long past due for good cleaning. Long past able to get a good cleaning. But she thought it was beautiful. Everything about her, the way she hums, her creaks and shudders. The whir of the engine that lulls Lucia to sleep like nothing else could. She gives an extra raise of her glass and a nod to the ceiling. The crewmates do the same, which was a nice enough gesture on its own. Even if just to humor their captain. Three down their drinks in unison, Lucia the first to finish as she slams her glass down on the table next to her. She lets out a large sigh as if breathing deeply for the first time that day. Honestly, probably was. She catches Zap's eye. Quietly, thanks, Zap. Lucia looks at Zap, giving him a small smile and a nod. They always know exactly what she needs, even when she can't figure it out herself. Zap returns the gesture with their usual half grin that never fails to make her heart skip a beat. After, out of the corner of her vision, Lucia swears she sees Hobbs roll his eyes. Thank you, I needed that. It would cheer you up before the big talk and all. You too, sourpuss. Zap goes to pat Hobbs on the back, the cat hobbling off the chair before they can. So do you have a plan for Jake going forward before we reach Mars, Lou? Zap brushes Hobbs off Hobbs. There should be a what's the word? Apostrophe there for possessiveness. Hobbs' counter, or not possessiveness, possession. Still managing to rub his head at the cat as the cat tries not to react. Grumpy Lump's got a point. How do you want to tackle this, Lou? I'm assuming the usual. Lucia paces a bit in front of the two, shaking her head. Since he potentially has the last bit of info, we need to find this pin. Busting right back into his cell and demanding an old friend spill his guts all by my lonesome might take too long. We can't let UCDS get his hands on him before he tells us what he really knows. So I think I need one of you to be in there with me to help out. I just need to figure out who. Jake is in an interesting state right now, to say the least. Maybe another friendly face might help loosen his tongue a bit quicker, perhaps. I know you're joking, but we're still not crossing that line, not even for this. I get wanting to show off what you've been cooking up lately. I do. It's amazing what you can do, babe. We're bounty hunters and not UCDS anymore for a reason. Zap rolls her eyes as Lucia reaches over and squeezes their arm with a mildly tight grip. I know. I was just teasing. I don't have enough for a full interrogation anyway. Plus, what is needed now, more than ever, is a guiding, supportive mechanical paw. I can assist you with that, Lou. Hey, Frena, come on. I know you're excited about that info you pulled on Jake back there. Even if he probably still hates you more than me. But I'll be the one to make the decision. I just need to think about it a little bit. It's all good, we have some time before Mars for you to make up your mind. Not a lot of time, but some time. It was for us a hopeful moment for us all, but especially you, Lou. I shall support your decision either way. Hobbs places their glass down on the center table with care and hops down onto the floor. Till then, I will be in the den, unwinding with my stories if either of you need me. I'll be in the kitchen preparing some more stuff for our next mission. Need to be prepared after the gunslinger's gig. With her crew getting antsy, Lucia decides who to respond to first. Let's tease Zap. Lucia gives Zap's shoulder a gentle poke, resisting the urge to squeeze at their thick, muscular arms. Careful, we don't need any fires. Again. Zap crosses their arms and frowns, though it looks more like a child's pout than an actual angry face. That was one time. One little fire never hurt anyone. Just be careful, okay, babe? Zap lets out an exasperated sigh, arms dropping to their sides. Well, good news, I'm determined to be extra careful now. Lucia glances over to the corner of the room, just as a small wisp of grey smoke sputters up from one of the hoses. Hobbs turns to Zap, his foot tapping against the metal floor of the bridge. And is our ace pilot quite sure the ship is going to make it to Mars in one piece? No potential malfunctions to worry about? Will we have to stop at a dreaded repair dock on the way? We'll be fine. We've done all we can do for now with basically no credits. We're not getting ripped off by any of those bastards and their service fees ever again. Fine, I'm off. Well, feel free to call me on the usual frequency if you'd like to have me join you with Jake. Same, come chat if you want. If not, I'll be on call too whenever you're ready. Before the two dash off, Lucia tells them one last thing. I'm absolutely suggesting another round. An almost pouty look crosses Lucia's face. She grabs a nearby bottle, raising it in the air and swirling the liquid inside around. Wait, just one round? I thought we were having fun. Do you not have an interrogation to do in a bit? Lucia stands taller, crossing arms and looking down her nose at him. He returns the look with a blank expression. Intimidating Hobbs was something even she had trouble doing. Thankfully, it wasn't a tactic she ever had to use on him seriously. You saying I can't hold my liquor? Are you sure that you can? As for me, I believe one pilk is enough indulgence for today. She looks to Zap, who hesitates as her eyes widen, lip poking out slightly. She knew it was a look they had a hard time resisting. She could practically see the wheels turning in their head. But eventually, they take the bottle from her, placing it back on the table. Let's save it. We'll have a rager when this is all over. Hobbs bounds out of the bridge, disappearing from sight, Zap following. Lucia watches them go as she stares down the hallway, deciding where she wants to venture off to next, as she mutters to herself. I could talk with those two buzzers and chill with my room first before speaking with Jake. I know them both really want to help, so chatting it up will probably convince me which one to call for the assist. Probably not going to be in the headspace to talk that much after dealing with him anyway. Or I could head over there straight away and just get it over with. Taking the tough shit real quick and hope it all goes well. She approaches one of the walls of the bridge, running her fingers along the cool, lightly rusted metal. One of the most comforting feelings she knew. What do you think, Fina? What's the play here? The lights flicker for a moment, the constant gentle vibration beneath her feet pausing for a breath of a moment before surging up again. She shakes her head. I bet I look tired, but no rest for the wicked. Not with him here. We're close. So close. Lucia laughs as the bridge lights bright a moment. Thanks for the support, now where to? I'll probably talk to both of them. As Lucia walks down the hallway, she passes by the brig, briefly checking in on Jake. He didn't bother to look up at her as he lay prone on the small stained cot. The hum of the force field is audible even when buffered up against the eternal rumbling of the barely contained FTL drive and power recyclers. Nearing the entrance to the kitchen, she hears the sound of upbeat jazz music playing. That is too many undone dishes. I'm going to lose my mind. She peeks inside as he's at practicing their dance moves while working on something. A liquid concoction brews quickly over a sizzling plasma heater. They can't stop grooving to the smooth sound of trumpets, tapping their feet, shaking their hips, and bopping along with their head. Their hands remain steady as they slowly pour 2 test tubes full of liquid into the beaker before swirling it around. The mixture turns a silver color. Oh, this is the truth juice, I'm guessing. Yes! Continuing to do a little jig, Zap pulls out a knife and pours a drop of liquid onto the tip of the blade. Or poison! When nothing happens, they wipe the liquid off on the side of their pants. The rest pours into one last tiny container, Zap capping it off and stuffing it inside a pocket. Free from their chemistry concoction, Zap breaks out into a full-on dance inside the confines of the cramped kitchen, their eyes closed as they sway with the rhythm. Fingers snap. Hands swirl and spin, feet cross and uncross as they get lost in the music. Lucia watches the sight unfurl before deciding to make her move. I'm gonna wait. Lucia leans against the side of the opening and watches as they groove along, not a care in the world. a completely different energy from when they helped tackle Jake. Zap opens their eyes to see her looking at them up and down. They sway a bit faster to their audience of one. Like what you see? Lucia nods her head, unable to take her eyes off them. Good, too bad I wasn't dancing for you. That is too bad. Want me to come back later when you're done? No, I can make some adjustments for a humble audience member. Zap starts to dance with even more of a spring in their step, spinning around and waving their arms loosely in front of them. Beverage. They never break Lucia's gaze as they move their combat boot-clad feet in quick, expressive movements, swirling around the kitchen. As the piano and the trumpets of the jazz track pick up, their dancing devolves into a free-form explosion of coordinated limb movements. With one last triumphant burst of energy, Zap pulls off a few spins before dropping into a full split in the middle of the kitchen, right as the song ends. Lucia claps as hard as she can as she walks over panting, sweating Zap. She offers them a hand as she helps pull them up off the floor. Small kiss. She plants a soft kiss on their lips, which they return with equal tenderness. The two sidle up to the kitchen's counter, staring each other down with narrowed eyes and slight grins. So, to what do I owe the pleasure of Lucia Lopez's company? Oh my god. What? Don't. Alright, fair enough. Sure. Okay. Now this says explore options like, the first game we played tonight. Slay the Princess. I like that they're noted. Oh, chat. Okay. Are specific. Got it. These options will not advance the story, but may unlock choices later. Okay. But seriously, what's up? Alright, let's talk about the dancing first. Your dancing has come a long way from when you first told me you were learning. Still got a ways to go before if I want to win against anyone. My style's getting better. Technique still kind of sloppy. Your technique is more coordinated than most people your size will ever be. Can't count on that. First impressions are everything. How many big, strong folks will dance with twice as much grace, or even more skill? A contest full of hundreds of sentient dancers from around the galaxy means I need to stand out. Fair, but don't burn yourself out on this, okay? Hey look, I get it, but right now? Zap spins around in a full circle before freezing in an overly exaggerated cool pose. Their arms are folded, tucked into one another, and tight against their chest. Their head is tilted upward as if to say, what up? I'm ready to break out these moves on some bastards in the field even. Not to brag or anything. Honestly, as ridiculous as that sounds, I'd love to see that one day. Good, because the only thing I plan on burning up is anyone that gets in the way of my fiery feet. Zap strikes an intimidating dancer pose, their brow furrowed, eyes narrowed, though she can barely contain her laughter. Well, I believe in the power of dance. Thanks. Someone has to. Alright, what was the mixture? What were you making? Oh, this? Zap pulls out the small vial of silver liquid Lucia had noticed earlier from their pants pocket. Just a little refill of my sleep medicine is all. So knockout, not poison, but decided to make a quicker acting dose this time. The ship's been getting noisier lately, and I need to pass out sooner. I'm getting too restless thinking about all the repairs we need done otherwise. Well, thanks to your quick thinking today. Our ex-comrade is going to bring us in enough no-crans for you and I to sleep soundly together. Maybe on a slightly bigger, more comfortable bed for our room, too? Hey now, don't get too big for your britches. Besides, I like that bed. It's comfy enough. And it's got character. You seriously... wait, I see how it is. What? You just like when I'm little spoon my big old butt right against... Lucia slugs Zap in the shoulder with a playful but hard punch. Oh, shut up. That's not it, Manioso. Maybe I just want a little more space from your big snoring mouth. First, you love how big my mouth is. Wow. Second, I haven't snored in front of you in forever. You still do, occasionally. Talk about not being able to fall asleep from loud noises. Zap returns Lucia's smack with her own. It's not that bad. Whatever you say. You're the sleep expert around here. And don't you forget it. Alright, let's talk about Jake. So, just to be clear, you're definitely okay with possibly spending more time around Jake if need be? Yeah, I mean, look, he's an ex. A particularly regrettable one. That's putting it mildly. But an ex all the same. There's dozens of them scattered across the galaxy. Some are even still alive. So yeah, I'm good. Well, not often you run into your ex from your last job while on your new one. And said ex has info that your current partner's been searching for many cycles. Well, when you put it like that, I definitely want to pay a visit just to see how it all plays out. Otherwise, the suspense might just kill me. Duly noted. The better question is, how are you about almost getting to the end of... Zap gestured around to the room with both arms stretched out wide, hands pointed upward, spinning around in a circle. this whole fucking journey we've been on. Honestly, I don't want to think about that right now. It's too overwhelming. We've been burning the plasma coil at both ends for so many cycles. And after Rasha, maybe after Marshall's fuck up? Lucia gestures around the kitchen with her hands held high. I'm just hoping we won't have to waste any more time dealing with the aftermath of classified intel. We're not going to, and you know why? Because Jake's going to tell me where the last pin is. Staff shoots 2 pointed fingers toward Lucia, raising their eyebrows. Bingo. Glad someone's confident. They put their hands on Lucia's shoulders, looking into her eyes. Hey, no matter what happens, I'm not giving up. Whatever you want to do, I'm here for you. You know that, but a reminder's always good. Yeah. Thanks, babe. I'll take you up on that offer soon, I promise. Good, that's all I ask. Mind if I step out now? Go for it. I'll just be working on stuff here. Okay, I'll see you. They share a final smile before Lucia steps out of the room. Now where to? Might as well go see Hobbs. Okay, it didn't automatically load in. I also just noticed the journal icon in the corner there. Good to know. Passing through the hallway towards the den, Lucia checks on the brig again. Jake lies on the cot, utterly motionless. He's dead. He's dead. Suicide tooth or something. She continues to the den, and as she enters, her eyes take hold of a familiar sight. Curled up on a ratty couch is Hobbs, eyes glued to a holographic spectacle playing out above a projector sitting on a makeshift worn-out table. Please take your boots off before you get on the couch. Martial arts fights and plasma gunfire exchanges all play out in flickering multicolored images of light. Worn-down speakers beside the projector play the crackling sounds of every blast and punch, buoyed by a fast-paced electronic score. Ooh, maybe the season finale is going to live up to expectations. As the fighting on display reaches a crescendo, a white 30-something human man with a swagger and confidence steps into view, pistol in hand. He looks towards someone off screen with a smug smile before the words, "The Galactic Gunslingers," appear on screen in a garish metallic font. Hobbs gets up from his cozy spot and stretches his arms high above his head, shifting a bit before leaning against the back of the couch. Lucia watches the cat get comfy before deciding to enter. Ask him what happened so far. For some reason, some extra clicks in there. As Lucia stands in the doorway of the makeshift storage room turned den, she turns her eyes to what's happening towards what's happening on the projector. So, what's this episode going to be about? Hobbs doesn't even look up from the opening titles to respond. It's the final battle for control of the Halicore system. The gunslingers made an emergency landing, took out a large number of pirate forces, and met up with the leader of the government soldiers advancing on the capital. As someone not very content with how things have been played out this season, it was a fantastic opening. So far, anyway. Did Greg direct this episode? Yes, he did. It's his best one yet, I might add. So we'll see what's it next time. Be sure to give him my regards. Sure you don't want to yourself? As much as I would love to inflate his ego, I cannot see myself initiating a conversation with him and it going smoothly. Rather perhaps enduring the condescension of hearing variations of, "Lucia, where'd you get such a delightfully droll mechanical companion?" Delightfully droll, huh? It is the most modest turn of phrase I could muster. Lucia gives him only a mild eye roll. She walks over and sits down next to Hobbs, leaning back against the couch in sync with him. Shifting around a little, she tries to find a comfortable position, Hobbs picking her up on her struggle. Might need to find a new couch soon. Padding's starting to feel a bit stiff against my back. After that, he might simply be getting old, Lou. Ah, says the cat that'll never age a day. Hobbs stares daggers at his companion as Lucia puts up her hand in mock surrender. Sorry, that was me, but you pulled the age card first. True, and I apologize. I'm sure that I think about that more than I have to be honest. Just want to enjoy my stories. Okay, I just came by to check in. Maybe chat a bit if that's okay. Of course, I assumed you wanted to discuss our current guest. Is there anything else? Well, check out the projector. Lucia gets up from the couch, eyeing the old hollow projector and speakers, blowing some dust off it. I'm sure that will make it right as rain. So when are you going to let me get a new one of these? Not until there's another model. I ain't able to opt out of any UCDS security enhancements from accessing programs. My dad's whole deal still creeps you out that much, huh? I get it. If others' previous galactic surveillance antics partially contribute to my healthy dose of paranoia, everything else contributes to the rest. Honestly, agreed. Getting a little too real here. But you could be watching this in magnificent widescreen with immersive sound, if you really wanted to. I could ask Greg for the latest model for you to tinker with next time we're on set. For you, perhaps, but not for this cat. Lucia rolls her eyes and returns to her seat beside Hobbs. So just to make sure you're fine with potentially being around Jake more if need be? Of course, we have tackled far worse creatures than him. Hobbs shifts around in his seat, trying to lean back further into the couch. I feel like that whole spitting thing got under your fur. I feel like that whole spitting thing got under your fur, though, a bit. It was not the spitting itself that I found disturbing. It was, well, his rather derogatory remarks, and how spitting towards me was some kind of test I passed. Yeah, Zap and I are well acquainted with this bullshit. Unfortunately. That must have been nightmarish. Did he always despise anthropomorphic animals? Nah, just cats. He's always hated cats. How unfortunate. So, sorry we couldn't run into someone who hates dogs. At least that I would understand. Wait, you hate dogs? This conversation is trending in the wrong direction. This is about talking more with Jake. The question I should be asking you is, how do you feel about conversing with this former comrade yourself? Hobbs' eyes gaze into Lucia's. She senses him searching for the true emotions buried behind her neutral gaze. While not the most emotional himself, Lucia always found him trying to read her, figure her out. Are you afraid of not finding the answers we have all sought? It's not like the possibility hasn't crossed my mind. Honestly, it's the fucking opposite, though. The possibilities are too overwhelming. Also, I already went over this with our lovely pilot. Well, our pilot and I are always equally concerned for our captain. And I appreciate that. I do. I just can't help but be a bit anxious. How much longer can we burn the plasma coil at both ends looking for answers? And after Rasha, after my dad's fuck-up? So, Maxwell is her dad. It was definitely an M name. I think it was Maxwell. Lucia gestured around the den with her hands held high. I don't know, if Jake's dead end, then I think that might be it. I can't risk another close call, another near miss that might lead to something fruitful. I'm not losing either of you, or the Athena. That is not going to transpire. You know why that is? Because Jake's going to spill his guts on everything he knows to me? Hobbs claps his paws together in agreement. Precisely. I know you're being sarcastic, but keep that optimism with you. Easier said than done, considering, well, you know everything about me. Well, if my words do not suffice in cheering you up, before she can stop him, Hobbs leaps into Lucia's lap, looking pointedly right into her eyes. Don't you dare do it. Well, I certainly am. Hobbs, don't. Lucia tries the best she can, but even she cannot resist the sight of Hobbs transforming his usually grumpy visage into that of a adorably sad one. He cracks a smile that transforms into a full, beaming grin. Why do you like torturing me with your cuteness? Well, it was the look on your face every time that I do it. That was rhetorical. Well, that was me continuing to torture you. Alright, I get it. I need to lighten up. Lucia shifts around in her seat, tapping her fingers against the couch, breaking Hobbs' gaze. Hobbs doesn't break from hers. I still think about the magnitude of how much I owe you and Zap. It is more than I shall ever be able to repay. Lucia turns back to face him, her face scrunched up in confusion. We needed you more than you needed us, if I recall. Please, that was all bluster. I never would have survived if you two had not come along when you did. Lucia feels a cold paw poke at her chest. The least I can do is encourage you to keep going as you did for me. Yeah, you're right. We will get something useful from this man. And then we will face whatever comes next head on. Together. Hobbs gets off her lap, returning to his seat as if nothing had transpired, Lucia pondering how to respond to the cat's unique form of support. Thanks, Hobbs. That means a lot. I'll call you if I need you, okay? Splendid. That is all I shall ask. What if I step out now? Of course, I will be right here if you need me. Okay, see you later. Hobbs nods with affection before Lucia makes her exit. Go to the bedroom. I just want to see all the rooms on the ship. Boots thumbing down the hallway towards her room, Lucia glances towards the brig once more. She sees Jake squatting over the toilet. Okay, so he's not dead. His bare thighs are trying not to touch the seat, head drooping towards the floor. The sound of the force field crackling is the only noise she hears. I love the little portrait of them with like little kitty cat Hobbs in the corner. And it looks like the shot cut off why did I already forget their name? Our partner's head. Anyway. As she enters her bedroom, her eyes take hold of the most expensive objects on the ship. Backed up against the farthest, most bespectacled wall lies a mattress big enough for her and Zap. The piece of furniture stands out amongst the space. 2 medium-sized pillows and 1 large one are stacked on one with silk sheets covering it. The supporting hover frame, crafted by the finest Australian designers, helps keep the mattress off the floor. A layer of dirty clothing, including the clothes Zap changed out of, conceals most of the floor, the rest stuffed inside a small closet. Some of the clothes in the closet I haven't worn in forever. Maybe Jake could get some use out of them. If I really wanted to butter him up. She looks around the room, deciding how to handle the current state of her abode. Let's change. Time for a refresh. Lucia walks over to her closet, ignoring the fallen clothes as she slips out of her current set and puts on an identical cleaner up. Don't have to change Sprite if it's an identical outfit. Satisfied, she sits down on her bed, falling backwards as she takes in the warm comfort of her most treasured possession. Much better. She closes her eyes as she tries to unpack the day's events. Ah, shit, I'm not going to be able to sleep, am I? She sits up, looking around the room, wondering how she can distract herself. Notification for a missed, or rather ignored, call from Marshall, sometimes Papa, sits in the corner of her virtual heads-up display. Talk to Shippy. Hey, Fiona, you up for a quick chat? A pulsating vibration Lucia can feel traveling from the wall to her mattress signifies she is. True, when are you ever not? I just wanted to check in and see how you're feeling. Need to take my mind off things. Lucia glides one of her hands slowly up and down against the wall. She feels a few spikes of energy from the FTL engine against the dull metal. You excited for all those repairs? A few more rapid spikes in quick succession. I know the touch of a half dozen mechanics and their tools isn't always the most pleasant. One long spike of energy now. Tinkering, wiring, maneuvering about as they repair everything. Can't wait for you to be whole again. Been putting you through the ringer lately. Sorry about that. A bolt falls from the ceiling, landing with a resounding thunk on Lucia's head. Right. Perfect. Moving on. I think I'm distracted enough now. Ship's inner working rumbles in satisfaction. Let's dictate our thoughts on the last mission. We'll get some more details on what actually went down. Lucia bends down, looking underneath her hovering mattress. She rustles around a space full of spare no-crants. A few sex toys, mostly full bottles of juice and liquor, snack bags, untouched books, and combat boots before finding her journal. There you are. She flips through the pages before landing on a blank entry, ready to transcribe a new entry describing the day's events. Begin dictation. In the upper right corner, the date and time of the current course cycle pops up in a cursive dark blue font. With the empty page before her, Lucia ponders what to say for how the latest bounty went. Alright, so emphasize the outcome. Wonder what comes after this. Today we snatched up Zap and his old pal, Jake Tremere. But all I can think about is what comes next. Not just 200,000 no-crants, which is nothing to sneeze at. It's our biggest haul in a long-ass time. We can get the ship fixed, restock our supplies, and maybe spend a little frivolously. It's wishful thinking, I know. But getting these answers from Jake? Only Marshall knows how long I've really been searching for them before we realized the pins were the key. Maybe one day I'll tell them, but not yet, when the time's right. The start of this particular snatch and grab didn't start off too hot, I'll admit. I'm lucky they picked me up by finding Jake's secret spot. I had to make it up to them after that. Once we found out where Jake was, we busted in, took down his crew. I grabbed the pin and got him. Felt sorry about the sex worker we scared, though. Tipped him well, so I didn't feel even worse. I just don't know how much longer I can keep going without anything concrete. Oh, so he wasn't jerking off, he was with somebody. Jake needs to deliver. Not just for me, but for all of us. No more bullshit rumors amassed as intel Marshall heard. Or some far-fetched military conspiracy we researched for way too long. It's time for some old-fashioned one-on-one. Well, two-on-one technically, but who's counting besides me? And dictation. Alright. Lucia tucks the journal back under her bed, satisfied with her latest entry. Let's find a distraction. Lucia slaps the palms of her hands against her cheeks in rapid fashion. Alright, okay. Time for a distraction. She looks around the room, trying to figure out what to do. Junk food. Without a second thought, Lucia drops to the floor and grabs a bag of her favorite snack from underneath her bed. Fuego Takis from Earth, snagged during their last trip to Mars. Digging in, she gobbles up the crunchy, spicy sticks. So good. Several bags, one burning mouth later, Lucia sighs deeply. Just the best. Alright, a few long sips from a bottle of water underneath her bed later, and she's good to go, sitting back on the sheets. So, calling Marshall back. Yeah, I said Maxwell was Marshall, my bad. Taking a deep breath, Lucia begins the arduous process of calling back her father while traveling at FTL speeds, waiting, and waiting some more. We're finally getting his hollow mail. Of course he wouldn't pick up. Leave a terse acknowledgement of his call. Hey, got your call. Heading to Mars, then Radon. You got something to say? I don't know, Papa. Call me back when you can, I guess. Bye. Getting up from her bed, Lucia makes her exit back to the hallway. It's Jake time. Approaching the brig with caution, Lucia sees Jake sitting on the cot. He stares towards the ground with restless eyes, his right foot tapping. Okay, let's do this. She turns on her local communicator, ready to call Hobbs and Zap about her decision. I think I'll bring Zap in since we let Hobbs do the scan earlier. Alright, you two, I've made my decision. Zap, you're going to join me to talk with our old buddy Jake. Hobbs, you're in charge of the ship in the meantime. Alright, I'm coming over now. Then I shall patrol the hulls and the bridge. Good luck to you both. Thanks, Hobbs. As Lucia waits for her companion to arrive, she pulls out her plasma pistol. Her initials are engraved on one side. Que sera, sera. Whatever happens on the other. Oh, and that's also why that's one of the backgrounds. That's cool. I wonder if I should grab some pants for Jake while I have the chance. Let's open friendly. It can't hurt to make him a bit more comfortable during questioning. She darts off to her room and snags a pair of one-size-fits-all sweats for Jake, slinging them over her shoulder before returning. Her fingers grip tightly around the stock as she hones on Jake's figure, distorted and shimmering through the lens of the force field's electric glow. Hey, you all good? Lucia shifts her head over to see Zap standing beside her, their right hand touching her left shoulder, eyes steeled towards the door. Yeah, you good? All set. Let's do this. Let's do this thing. Lucia points her pistol towards Jake's direction as she deactivates the force field, the man not moving from his position except to turn his head toward her. Stand up and turn towards the wall. Now. You can see the gears turning in Jake's head as he slowly rises to his feet, looking his former comrade square in the eyes. He lunges at her. Don't move a muscle and call his bluff. Lucia doesn't move a muscle as Jake takes a couple steps towards her before crashing to the ground, writhing on the floor as muffled, pained words are heard. She walks over, getting down at his level, gun still pointed at him before ripping the gag off. Fuck you, like you wouldn't try anything to escape. Lucia pulls him up from the floor, dragging him over to the toilet and plopping him down before she rips his gag off. I don't know what fantasy world you think you're in right now, Jake, but we're not in the military anymore and you're not my commander. You're lucky I didn't shoot you, okay? So please answer whatever it is I have to ask. Can't believe this is all over a fucking pin. Lucia, too smart to lower her gun around Jake, sits beside him on the cot, the force field crackling back to life. Zap watches guard from a little further back, keeping their eyes trained on Jake. Nice to see you too, Zap. You really want to shoot me, don't you? You don't answer loose questions, maybe. I'll bet. To be honest, two of you, you're probably the one who deserves the most to... Hey, eyes on me. Jake nods his head as he stares towards Lucia, annoyance in his eyes. Sure thing, Lou. Anything for you. Man gives her a shit-eating grin as Lucia just grimaces at his faux display of kindness. He looks down to see his bare legs shaking a bit. I know you probably weren't expecting this, but I brought you a pair of pants if you want it. They're one-size-fits-all auto-adjusters. And yours if you want them. Lucia dumps the pants at Jake's feet as he can't help but eye them. Without hesitation, he spits on them before looking back up at her. Okay then, no pants. She picks the pants off the floor and tosses them onto the cot. Now, I've traveled halfway across the galaxy to find you, Jake. Zap, Hobbs, and I all have. Jack's face darts between Lucia and her companion, eyes squinting and narrowed. Lucia pulls the box of pins tucked inside her pants, reaching and pulling out Jake's. The little piece of metal sparkles in the light as she holds it up to his face. And Hobbs' scan indicated your pin is the only one with multiple coordinates. Plus, we know you've had cycles to study and probably fuck with the ones embedded in it. So I'm just going to ask you this straight, no chaser. Ask why it has 3 sets. Why are there 3 sets of coordinates? Jake shakes his head as he looks back and forth a few times between Lucia and the pen. And why should I fucking tell you anything? Especially after roughing me up all to hell. Can't believe you're doing UCDS dirty work after everything we went through. Both of you make me sick. This isn't about them. It's about me and you. Because look, we both know those bastards aren't going to go easy on next spec ops. So, best case scenario, you're in a cell on Mars for the rest of your life. Now, with my connections, maybe I can convince a certain someone to just have one of his lackey wipe your memories. Give you a new identity. You'd lose every sense of who you are, of course. But you know, you'd have a life. I'd take the deal if I were you. Shut up! And you're full of shit, Lucia. No one's got that clout anymore. Not after all those fucking hearings I've been seeing. Same fucking politicians that heard all those rumors and whispers. What we did. No one's got leverage with the UCDS anymore. So I'm a dead man either way. It's either a quick one by you or a slow one by them. After how I've been treated, I'm not saying shit to you about where those pins are. Lucia tilts her head to the side as Jake shuts his eyes. He purses his lips and goes silent. So he did mention that it was multiple pins. Perdóname? Wait, what the fuck did you just say? He shakes his head from side to side with vigor. Nope, I didn't say shit. No, actually, I think you did say shit, Jake. And you're gonna elaborate right now. Lucia gets up from the cot and stares down at Jake's withering form. You said pins, as in there's more than one pin out there? So the coordinates really do point to multiple pins. Jake doesn't move his head, his mouth staying shut. Lucia squats in front of him, trying to make eye contact. Who else has pins, Jake? Why do I want to know so fucking bad? Why do you give a shit about any of this? Zap moves a bit closer towards the sweating, twitching Jake. Hey, this is about answering, not asking. Stop wasting your time. Just answer a question. Jake turns his attention to Zap, quarter smile on his face. Do you even know why she's doing this? Maybe you could tell me why your girlfriend turned into a fucking space cop over these things. Zap smirks as they rear back to smack Jake across the face. Lucia puts a left hand up to signal her companion to stand, probably stand down, not stand now. Jake, I wouldn't wish what I've been through to find these pins on my worst enemy. It's because everything that's happened is making the pain worse, Jake. You know what I'm talking about, right? That special pain you have, that Zap has. Hell, even Hobbs has some version of it from his homeworld being bombed to shit. Things we all did, we all saw. The invading, the patrolling, the killing. Do you still think about them? How could I not? So do I. And you deal with it in your own way, right? Why the fuck do you think I ended up where I did? That was the only way for me. Exactly. And I need this, Jake. These pins are my way of getting closure. Just tell me who has the last 3 and we can all move on. That's a nice dream, Lucia. Lou. Well, it is a nice dream, Lou. Doesn't have to be. It's up to you. Is it up to me? Jake takes a deep breath, looking over at Lou with drooping eyes. I'm sorry. For what? I said too much. With a screaming lunge, Jake throws himself on top of Lucia, slamming his head into her face over and over. You don't know what I've... Jake, stop. Zap shoves the man off her with both hands. Wait. With one well-placed punch to the head, her pissed-off protector steps in and puts the man to sleep. He crumbles to the floor in a heap. Shit. Fucking A, you okay? Zap helps Lucia up as she gently adjusts her sore nose with her fingers. Dusting herself off, she looks over the face-down body of her captive. Yeah, I was gonna be fine. This is what he wanted, though. Been trying to stop him from provoking you or Hobbs since he got on the ship. I know, but I just couldn't fucking take it anymore. I went on instinct, sorry. I feel like Hobbs would have shot him, so I think we chose correctly here. It's fine, let's hope he's just knocked out for a while. We got something out of it at least, right? Yeah, I don't know how much more we can, but it's something to go on. How long is he going to be out for? Zap crouches down, a finger feeling for his pulse. Probably till we get to Mars. Lucia walks back to the entrance, the force field disappearing again. Okay, I'm gonna go clean up. You're more than welcome to join me if... Ugh! She hears the sound of a shock, a short pain gasp, and a brief throw from behind her. She spins around to see the source of it. What's the shock? Lucia's eyes go wide as she whips out her pistols for to say before, shouting out for Hobbs. Brig, now! What it? Lucia hears the sound of Hobbs' paws bounding down the hall. He pulls up beside her, eyes widening as well. Oh boy. Oh great. A calm, heavily breathing Jake clenches one of Zap's plasma pistols. The other lies thrown in the corner, and out of arm's reach besides Jake's broken restraints. He turns the glistening weapon between the heads of Hobbs and Lucia. Gripping Zap's knife in his free hand, he presses it against their throat. You tried, Lou, you really did. But I always was just a little too much of a prick, wasn't I? Laid out your weapon immediately. What the fuck is this shit, Jake? You really looking to get your ass kicked even harder now? That triggered my failsafe. It reboots all my systems to make me quicker, focused, and deadly accurate. And they say intergalactic crime doesn't pay off. Hobbs, how did you not... Scan it up, pick up any lip. It'd be real helpful. Shut the hell up. It's a bioenhancement, not something you can detect in any scan. It's part of my DNA, so don't blame the poor furball. Anyway, hopefully he still doesn't have pants. The angry man keeps his focus squarely on Lucia and Hobbs as he pulls the knife a bit closer to Zap's windpipe. Out of the corner of her eye, Lucia sees Zap slip her vial of sleep located into her free hand. No more questions. I don't want to kill anyone. I don't, especially not you, Zap. They're going to take me back to Trask and let me walk away. Right now. Lucia feels a deep rumble in her boots, akin to a relieving sigh. A sharp, astute voice reverberates inside her head. I can hold my tongue no longer, bounty hunter. Can we finally be rid of this filthy man? Are you ready to strike him down? Stop stalled and start moving now. Fuck the bounty, I'm ready to kill this prick. Do not anger the man with a knife through your throat. We could still have a use for him as a no-cran source. I totally effed up his voice again. We don't need his sorry ass alive anymore. You got something out of him. Kill me, your trail's cold, Lou. And I know from that look, you need me. Just let me go. Please. Lucia closes her eyes as everything around her goes quiet, taking in all the sounds. From the ship. The heavy breathing of Jake. Her own steady heartbeat. Opening the back up, she looks over at both her friends, her decision made. Knock his ass out. Lucia nods her head, the usual signal for a breathing captive made clear to her crew. I love the mischievous look on Zap's face. As Jake Knife begins to make his move, time seems to move slower than normal for the three of them. She signals to Hobbs to make the first move, pointing a finger towards the waiting cat. Deactivate. Lucia points a finger towards a watchful Zap. Juice it! And in less than a couple seconds, it happens in a near blur. Hobbs shuts down Jake's left hand. Zap tosses the silver liquid up in the air. Jake fires the pistol trained on Lucia. Lucia fires her pistol at the container. Zap shoves Jake's hand, turning away from the container, dropping towards his face. And I feel like you wouldn't get all of this if you hadn't talked to them all earlier, especially the juice. But the plasma shatters the container, exploding on impact. A few drops of non-vaporized liquid splash in Jake's face along with some glass shards. He collapses to the floor unconscious. Jake's plasma round shoots right through Lucia's skull, killing her instantly. Oh. Well, Lucia's eye springs open. Her head wound begins to... Oh, that kind of reload. Begins to heal before completely regenerating as if nothing had happened. She grasps to where her fatal injury once was before breathing a sigh of release. Zap and Hobbs push her off, Zap rising to their feet as they offer their lover a hand. What the fuck? Took you long enough. Well, go back. Pulled up to her feet, Lucia gently slugs Zap in the shoulder. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll be quicker next time. You better. The revived bounty hunter licks her lips before rolling her tongue around her mouth. Taste any different this time? Nah, still tastes like bitter. So, oh, we got a title. Okay, I'm guessing Lucia's a cyborg of some point. Cyborg or android of some sort. Or it could be bio-enhancements like Fuckface had, too. Thank you for playing the demo of Bitter Silver. We here looking at Drive games. Really appreciate it. Yeah, please wish list. Small, diverse team. I'm just skimming this. If you want to read the whole thing, you can pause or, you know, play the demo yourself. Because again, we only played with one of the starting options. Alright. And they've got a Discord, because everybody's got a goddamn Discord. Any extras? Okay, we got some of the ending stuff. That's cool. So even just playing through the demo, you got a bunch of stuff to unlock. That's cool. That's cool. Very generous. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't click the content warning earlier. Really, I think it mostly came with the violence and the sexual content, but even that was written, so not so bad. I apologize for not reading that at the top. Alright, I already have it wish listed, I think. If not, I'm gonna double check that now.